Do you know how fast you were going? Just kidding. Okay, so today I'm in a really good mood, and I got up early and got all ready, but so now that I'm all dressed and stuff, I can finally make this video that I've been dying to make. It's gonna be very informative, but kind of all over the place. Okay, so first I just wanted to show off, when the other night when it was a full moon, I took my little sorry, how do I do this? Sorry, cover, and I filled it up with all of my stuff. So this came in from the full moon. But yeah, like I charged my tarot cards, like I even charged my sage, my wand, all my crystals. I didn't even realize, like, I charged my rabbit's foot, my bracelet, my amethyst bracelet, my other wand. I had way more stuff in here. My pendulum right here. But yeah, I want to get to the good stuff quick. So this bracelet, I don't know if you guys have seen these either. You used to be able to get them everywhere, but they're like hematite. Like, you know how you can get the magnet ones, and like I have a video where I'm like throwing them up in the air. But yeah, so like this is just like a cute little bracelet you can just wrap around like this, or you can wear it as like a necklace like that. And yeah, it's just really, really cute. Yeah. I just totally realized it was made of crystal. So, first of all, my cousin wrote a book. And here it is. And of course, it's got like, I used to call it the Tree of Life, but it's by Sharon Senna. My last name's Senna, so obviously, there's not many Sennas in the world. It's Portuguese. Senna is a Portuguese name. There's actually a race car driver named Ayrton Senna. But yes, it's called Wisdom, Things I Wish I Knew at 22. It's an amazing book. It's small. It's not too big. I'm going to leave a link. It's like $9.61 if you want to get it on Amazon. But it's just like the perfect book that like you should have as a young adult, or a teenager for your kids. It's got like all these beautiful poems in it. She actually does interviews with like college students on just like life things, like life problems, like accomplishments, downfalls, like just anything you can think of. I'll read you the back real quick. Wisdom, Things I Wish I Knew at 22 is a collection of life lessons for teenagers, young adults, and everyone who is 22 at heart. With insights gathered from women and men who have experienced different elements of life's journey, this book dispenses wisdom in practical, easy-to-digest morsels such as becoming effective at work, achieving work-life balance, assuming leadership roles, identifying values and setting goals, dealing with matters of the heart, and other practical life lessons. Whether you are a teenager seeking wisdom that does not come from a school book, a young adult striving to be successful, or an older adult looking for a good mental tune-up, let the messages and wisdom enlighten and inspire you as you pursue your dreams. Sharon Senna so we're not related through blood. We're cousins through marriage, but she's an amazing woman. I love her. She's got like this blonde, big, thick, curly hair. Oh, she's gorgeous. I love her. Sharon Senna began writing poetry in 1992. She found that writing provided not only a creative outlet, but also a way to make better sense of life. Wisdom is her third book. Sharon finds joy in helping others to become more successful on whatever path their hearts beckon them to follow. So yeah, I really think you guys should get it. I recommend it a lot. And yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. And yes, you should get it. Or at least, check it out. So, and the other thing is, I am in a movie, basically. So in 2008, I was signing up for auditions and stuff. It's just a short. I'm just an extra. But I'm in a bikini, and it was back in 2008. But it is a great movie. It's called Tricks of a Woman. Basically, this guy owes this other guy money. So, they're both photographers, like model fashion photographers, and they make a bet. And the bet is, the good guy believes that he can turn any girl into a model. Like, and I would agree. Like, every girl is beautiful. Like, I totally, like, I hate it because I think all these girls are so beautiful, and my husband will be like, ew, no, she's ugly. And I'm just like, how can you even say somebody's ugly? I mean, you could be drop dead gorgeous and have a horrible, bad attitude, and you're not going to look good to me or anybody for that matter. But, other than that, like, any girl could seriously be a model, and that's what it's about. So, they make a bet, and, that she couldn't be on a cover of a magazine. They want to get her on the cover, and I don't want to spoil the movie, but it's such a cute, like, family movie. It's totally appropriate. I'm proud to be in it, honestly. So, I'll put the link for it on Amazon. It was so horrible. Like, I didn't even get to shower, nothing. I literally just threw on a bathing suit and, or just brought some bathing suits, and it was me, my friend, and this other girl that my friend brought. And my friend wasn't in the movie, but she brought us two to be in it. Oh, my nose is itchy. So, you wouldn't believe it, but I had this old, cheap, Old Navy freaking bikini, and the bikini bottoms broke. So, where you tie them, just completely snapped. Like, oh my god. So, I'm in the bathroom, and I'm with, the girl that I just met, that my friend introduced me to, and she's on her knees in the bathroom trying to fix my bikini. Oh my god, it was awful. But, I'm just really excited it's on Netflix. I just found out, like, I was just going through Netflix trying to find something to watch, and there it was. That's just the way it goes for me, and, I think it's really cool, and something to be proud of, and, like, which reminds me, this was back when I was a Catholic, or Christian, whatever you want to call it. So that's the other thing I wanted to show you. This book, this is the cover, Spirited by Rebecca Rosen. They have it in soft cover now at Barnes & Noble. I would have much preferred the soft cover. But I don't know if I told you about this, how this was on sale for $5.98. And I just was like standing in line and saw it, and I was like, this looks like an awesome book, like just meant for me, just there, like waiting for me. And it's an amazing book, and I definitely recommend it, and I love her. But the thing was, it was actually kind of funny, because I was like, oh my god, as I was reading it, right, a couple weeks after I got it, I was like, let me see if she's on YouTube. Found her on YouTube, started watching all her videos and the work she's done, and then I'm like, oh my god, let me see if she's going to be in town. And what do you know, she's in California the next coming week or two, right in San Diego. And I was like, oh my god, like, how ironic, like, that it just so happened, her book's right there, I get her book, I find her on YouTube, and now she's going to be in town. And that was actually back around Thanksgiving, so I couldn't make it to the show, and I actually had to go to Arizona, and, she was in Arizona too, and I was begging my mom to go, because, I had two friends that committed suicide. I've had so many family members that passed away that my whole family is just broken apart, and I'm not going to cry about it right now, but anyways, I just had a feel like it was just calling to me, and I was so mad my mom wouldn't go. She just wouldn't go. But, so, as I was saying with the whole Christian thing, like, my whole life I've been, like, Catholic, or whatever, like, and you know what's funny? This bracelet, I don't know if you could see it, but it says Princess, right? Found this, at a store, I forget what store it is. says princess, has a cross on it, and then John 1:12. And I'm like, because my mom's always like, okay, princess, and saying all this crap to me. But it was like a gift from God calling me a princess. And so that's the thing, like, this is a great book, but it's kind of on, like, the Catholic-y side. Which reminds me, there's another book that I wanted to recommend that is kind of on that, like, side of, like, prayer and, the God, like, just our Father or whatever. But also, this is what gets me really confused, okay? When I was Catholic, I had a lot of spiritual experiences. One being, now this could make or break me right now, but, sorry, I'm just seeing how much time I have. So, basically, I had to spend a night in jail for public intoxication. So, I'm sorry, not the night, because they took me in on a Friday, so I was there all weekend until Monday, the court day. And I was freaking out. I mean, I was scared. I was like, people were just like yelling, and it was just like a holding cell, but I was stuck in there by myself. It was freezing cold. I wouldn't go to the bathroom. I was like, hell no. And I wouldn't eat. And I was just screwed. I was so mad. And I started bawling my eyes out. And, I was really Catholic then. So what I did was not only to pass time, but to pray and to, just get some answers and some just like something. So I actually started praying the rosary. I imagined the rosary in my head and prayed the entire thing and just like imagined each bead and made sure, it was 10 beads, and I just kept going and going, and I did the whole rosary. Did, the, the cross, and then the 3, and then the 1, and then 10, or 5, 10 Hail Marys. You know what I'm saying. So, did it. And I started getting really emotional. And, I remember before, like, once if you start like praying or doing a spell or whatever, and you start getting like teary-eyed for some reason, that means like he's listening, or it's the spirit's listening, it's there. So that's why you get like all emotional all of a sudden. So I just started getting really emotional and started crying and everything. And so I asked, the guard people for a tissue, and I was like, can I please have some tissues? And they bring me toilet paper, like this rough toilet paper. So I was like, ugh! And like, I remember I punched the wall, the nice cement wall, and totally, like, you can see, like, I have like no pinky bump. Like, this one has like a bump, and this one doesn't. Totally punched it. Was crying hysterically, and like, I went and sat on the bench, and I wiped like my face and my nose, and then I threw my tissue at the door or whatever. So I said, and this is after I was like, can you please give me a sign? Like, give me a freaking sign that you're there. Like, this is ridiculous. I pray to you. When I was younger, it was like I got everything I wanted right in my hand the minute I prayed for it. And it's just like, what the hell is going on? Like, I don't try to hurt anybody. I am a good person inside and out. I have only good intentions, and it's like every freaking thing just goes wrong. And I was like, give me a sign. Like, if you're there, like, before I, like, seriously lose my mind, like, just tell me if you're, just give me a sign. All of a sudden, the tissue, like, blows. Like, it was just like, and I was like, okay, there's definitely no wind in here or anything. There's no breeze. Like, there's no air coming through anywhere. So I was like, ooh, maybe that's my sign. I'm like, sure, that's my sign, whatever. So I got up, and I was like, let me pick it up, It's kind of a sign. I picked the tissue up, picked it up, and I'm not kidding you. This was 3 days later. I wasn't drunk no more, nothing like that. Picked the tissue up, and it's like, it was just like this. Like, the tissue was crunched up in a ball, so it was like this. And it was a cradle with a head and a body, like baby Jesus in the cradle. So the tissue just like totally crinkled up into like this baby sleeping in a cradle. Like, I can't do it with my hands, and I couldn't believe it. couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, oh my god. And I like held onto that tissue. I slept with it. I kept waking up and looking at it and just being like, oh my god. And I was so happy, and I couldn't wait to show everybody when I got out of there. And what do you know? They had to transfer me over to another place. It was actually like an all guys, like actual jail, to get me ready for the morning to go to court. And so this was like so I could brush my teeth, and I had a blanket and a bed, and like I could fix myself up. As they're transferring me over there, they're checking me and everything to make sure that I didn't like somehow pick something up on the way, like there was any way of that even happening. And of course she gets my tissue and freaking unraveled it. Like unraveled the tissue. I fell to the floor. Like I literally got weak at the knees and like fell to the ground and just started crying my eyes out hysterically. I was like, why would you do that? Like, why did you have to unravel the tissue like that? Like, and I was just so hurt, and I don't know, and you know, and then there's just been multiple, like nothing like that, you know, like that big of a deal. Like I just couldn't believe it. It's like, but you know, to some people it's like seeing, you know, Mary in your Fruit Loops or something. It wasn't like that. Like it was intentional. Like I said, give me a sign. I just prayed the rosary, and then all of a sudden my tissue is a cradle with baby Jesus, like a head, like a body and a head, like perfect, like body, like it was insane. And I just, I'll never forget it. But you know, I'm like, so, like, do I do this Wicca thing? Even though Wicca does have gods and goddesses that are replicas, or, you know, of Jesus and Mary and, you know, all that. But it's just, I don't know. And then, like, I've got people today knocked on my door, and there's two older women, and they're like, oh, and they're like, you should, you know, be with Jesus, and, like, you know, believe in Jesus, and they're like, you need Jesus in your life. But then it's like, you'll never believe it, because as to do with that Spirited book, you know, she's kind of, like, into God and things like that. So I'm at the bookstore last week. Oh, I went and saw Hansel and Gretel. Awesome, awesome movie. I mean, they make witches look like crazy, but there is a good witch. I'm just gonna say that at least. But yeah, I went and saw that, and before I went and saw the movie, I went to the bookstore, and I got a couple books, and I returned one because it was like this Egyptian book that just made no sense. And I'm like, let me check the clearance rack just for the heck of it. What do you know? I'm looking around, and what is sitting like on the shelf, like just by itself, like hanging on the corner, but this book for $12.98, the Ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead. Not even kidding you. Can you believe it? And I don't have time right now, but there are books, Wicca books, like Eileen Holland's just, what is that book? Just Witch's book or whatever. It's like her Book of Shadows. She refers to this book. She has a spell from the Book of the Dead, the Ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, in her book. I'll have to get it and show you guys after, but lots of random info going on. I also wanted to talk about Fox News. That was just completely ridiculous. And it was crazy because the night before I entered a contest. It was with Ellen DeGeneres. It was like to like be on the show and all this stuff. I entered the contest. They asked, how do you embody strength, beauty, and independence? And I made this whole thing about my spirituality and Wicca, and how Wicca has saved my life, and how I just came across a book in the library and I came out of depression, and I'm happy now. I'm independent. You know, I'm so much better off than I was. Like, I was contemplating life, you know, being a Catholic before that. And it was just crazy. And I just talked about that. And then the next day, Fox News is making jokes about Wiccans. I was like irate, if that's even the word I'm looking for. I was so upset. I couldn't even believe it. I wanted to make a video so bad, but I signed the petition and gave them a piece of my mind through there. And yeah, I was just really upset and hurt. And I felt like it was like, I know I don't want to sound like the world's all about me or paranoid or something, but I really felt like it was, like I was being laughed at. Like maybe, I mean, word gets around quick. And I mean, I was just like, are they trying to seek a reaction or like what's going on? Like, I just couldn't believe it. The night before or couple nights before I entered the contest and mentioned pagan and Wicca, in witchcraft, that happened. And I was just so pissed at that guy for saying, I can't take someone seriously whose most religious holiday or sacred holiday is Halloween. Like, are you freaking kidding me? And that's the other thing I was a little bit confused about. How everybody's like, oh, we only have 8 holidays, we don't have 20. Well, to me, I mean, I consider the SBAT holidays. So, I mean, the full, the new, the waxing, the waning, like, it's the full moon and, a new moon, I do consider like a holiday. I mean, I'm not going to expect a day off for it, but, um, it is like a holiday for me. I'm just saying. So, I don't really look at it as only having 8 holidays because like I do like throw a party for the moon. Like I love it when it's a full moon. I don't just honor the changing of the seasons. I honor the moon. I'm a moon girl. So, the moon plays a big part to me. And that's the other thing I got so upset about. I was watching a very well-known person on YouTube. I'm not going to say who. And she had a video about drawing down the moon. And she talks about drawing down the moon and how she drew it down and how all this crazy stuff happened. And then she tells you how she did it, and she doesn't even know what she's talking about. Because when you draw down the moon, you have to go like this at the moon and draw it down. Like that's how you draw it down. And you have to say something. And it's better to have someone actually hold the athame on you. Most likely you want them to be like a high Wiccan priest or priestess, but obviously if you're a solid type practitioner, you can't do that, so you kind of have to do it yourself. But you have to do this and look at the moon, and she didn't even mention that, and it's just so annoying. Which brings me to, I accidentally told some close people to me about my freaking channel, so they're all interested in Wicca now. It's kind of like my little cousins and my aunt. So they're really into Wicca and they really want to know what I've been learning and what I'm into. And they're actually somewhat like they've got, bits and pieces of it that they're into, like Reiki and stuff like that. And she's actually going to tell me about that because I don't know anything about it. So I actually am going to finally link my new channel down there in the description box also, and I really want you guys to come check it out, subscribe. There's no videos up yet, but there will be, and I'm actually thinking about doing a couple teaching videos. I don't want to be known as like this big teacher or anything, it's been over a year and a day, but I just kind of want, there's so many videos out there already on learning Wicca and, and stuff like that. But, I'm a different person. I look at it differently. I have my own practice. My practice is not the same as everybody else's. So, and I really want my family to, see from my perspective. And, the more subscribers I get and the more people, I really want them to see how many witches are really out there. Because I don't know how far I'm going to get into it. It all depends on, how everybody else feels and if they want more or if they, it all depends. We're just going to see what happens. But I'm going to try, like not teach, just kind of, just explain, and through my point of view. So, yeah, check it out. Like, so this channel is kind of gonna be like my video response channel, my random, like, just randomness, you know, my wild witchiness, and the other one's gonna be like more formal kind of, like I'll do everything in order, and things like that. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Alright, I love you guys, blessed be, and yeah, I'll be talking to you soon. Okay, bye.